hosting Brighton tomorrow at the Emirates. And here onto the Rokani Media Football, we obviously bring you the probable starting 11, the stats that you guys need to know about this particular game of football. So that's why we tell you that you have every reason to keep it this channel. That is the Rokani Media Football. And guys, continue to subscribe because we want to hit 30,000 subscribers onto this channel. Third video of the day coming up right about now. This particular fixture ended in a dramatic way as Declan Rice was sent off in what was a controversial send-off, by the referee. He gave him matching off the pitch orders, and Arsenal went ahead to obviously lose their 1-0 lead, and Brighton went ahead to equalize to make it 1-1 in favor of Brighton. And that, even that I was asked about it yesterday in the press conference, and the reply was like savage in there. So Arsenal comes into this game of football when they're really top of the Premier League, and they are still first on the top of the table. Brighton is 9th. Arsenal has accumulated 39 points and Brighton have accumulated 24 points. Arsenal has gone ahead to score 31 goals. Brighton has gone ahead to score 25 goals in there. So Arsenal have conceded 10 goals, Brighton have conceded 23. Arsenal have 184 shots in the Premier League this season. 84 of those have been on target. 100 of those have been off target. 62 shots have been blocked, by the opponents that Arsenal have gone ahead to face. And then 169 shots for Brighton, and 77 have been on target. 92 have been off target, and 63 blocked shots by the opponents. Arsenal average a passing accuracy of 85.56% per game, and Brighton have averaged 84.12 in there. 6 points have been dropped by Arsenal. 6 points have been gained by Arsenal from losing points, from losing positions, and 11 points have been gained by Brighton from losing points, so from a losing position. 2 points dropped by the side of Arsenal from winning positions, and Brighton have gone here to drop 7. That is really very, very worrying in there. Now, Arsenal drew. They played in the midweek and they drew 1-1 with Crystal Palace. The game ended in penalties, but in the Premier League they beat Everton by 1-0, and that was a fixture they really went ahead to collect points away from home. And then Brighton drew 0-0 with Sunderland in there for you. So previous meetings between Arsenal and Brighton, they are 28, and Arsenal has gone ahead to win 14. Brighton have gone ahead to win 8. There are 6 draws amongst these teams. Then League Cup. In all competitions, they last played in the League Cup this season, and Arsenal beat Brighton by 2-0. Then in the Premier League last season, 1-1 at the Falmer Stadium. Is it called the American Express Stadium in there? Then 31st August 2024, it was a draw, meaning that last season, all what Arsenal could collect from this fixture were absolute draws. Now, as I've told you, in the previous game Arsenal played, in their next 6 games, all the teams that they are going to play, Arsenal never beat them. Especially at those particular stadiums. They're the same fixtures at the same stadiums. Everton was the first fixture, and Arsenal beat Everton by 1-0. Now Brighton comes in throughout the Emirates. Remember last season, they went ahead to obviously drop points there, and they are obviously going to be facing them. This time round, I think no mistake, because haven't gone ahead to see an Arsenal player sent off. Last season, Arsenal got very many red cards, that really prevented them from obviously being one of those teams to obviously lift that trophy. But it looks like everything is everything is like on their plate and on either side to go ahead and really win. Now, they'll play Aston Villa next. There is Nottingham. There is Bournemouth. And there is Liverpool. So all those next fixtures, they never went ahead to win, but they won that of Everton. And I think there is green light at the end of the tunnel in this particular fixture too. Now, let's get to the team news. After really breaking you that down, let's get to the team news. Arsenal doesn't have Gabriel Magalhaes. They don't have Mosquera. They don't have Ben White. They don't have Kai Havertz. They don't have Max Dorman in there for you. You get? So that is it for the side of Arsenal. And a player known as Hincapi also is a little bit, he's having fitness problems in there. That is the player in Hincapi. But all you're waiting to see how things will pan out for the side of Arsenal in this particular fixture. And we are yet to see whether the guy makes it onto this team. But if at all Hincapi doesn't show up, you all know to it that Arsenal is fully covered into that side. He failed to make it to the bench when Arsenal was playing against Crystal Palace, and that's why the manager went ahead to obviously field a player known as Riccardo Carafiori into that particular encounter. So, as it stands, Arsenal now has 6 players injured. 6 players injured. There were doubts of Gabriel Jesus because he really went ahead to get lots of tackles into the game they played against a team known as Crystal Palace, but the manager said Gabriel Jesus is fully fit. You understand? From there, we obviously get to a side known as Brighton. Brighton don't have Baleba. He's out. You get? Now, Stefan Timmings and Adam Webster, Solimatch are still working to see to if they will get back to full fitness, And we are having Danny Welbeck, and Paul Hake. They are back into contention after missing both goalless draws with Sunderland. Lewis Dunk and Diego Gomez return from suspension, and Matt Hoifer will be assessed closer to kick off. So they also have most of their players available, and that really makes this match a one to watch in there. We head to what we call the probable starting 11 for both teams, and here we come to obviously see exactly what is happening in here. In the system, it's really going to be a 4-3-3 system that Arsenal will deploy in here for you. And obviously in goal, it's going to be David Raya. Remember, Arsenal rested David Raya. They rested Zubimendi, Odegaard, Declan Rice, Saka, Trossard, and Gyokeres in that starting game, in that midweek game. Now, these players come back fully fit. Right back, it's going to be Julian Timber into the mix. That is it. He'll come up and obviously put in a very huge shift in there. Then, left back, Riccardo Carafiori. That is it. And left-sided centre-back, they'll welcome back Hincapi if at all he's past fit, as he's supposed to undergo what we call a late fitness test in there. Right-sided centre-back, it's going to be a player known as William Saliba to play into that particular position. Then the CDM will come up as Zubimendi coming in for Nogard. Nogard really had a very beautiful game in there. Then Declan Rice comes in through for Mikel Merino, right, as a box-to-box midfielder. And then we have a Martin Odegaard coming in through to really play as a number 10. He came off the bench. Most of these players come off the bench to feature, but good enough is that they rested for some good time in there. Now, we have a right forward in the names of Bukayo Saka. That is it. Left forward, we have Eze, Martinelli, and Trossard. And Trossard will obviously start. That is it. Trossard will purely start. He's the preferred left forward for the side of Arsenal, who is really starting these games. And leading the line goes by the names of Victor Gyokeres. I know Jesus had a very big game. He played very many minutes. And all I tell you is that the manager will start Victor Gyokeres into this game, scoring a penalty against Everton, and this is the perfect game for him to stretch his scoring run to where he wants to be. 5 goals so far in the Premier League, and this is the game where he can easily bang a hat-trick because Brighton plays what we call a fully open game. So that is my probable starting 11 for the side of Arsenal versus versus Brighton. And we're here to wait and see what things will be like into that particular game of football. We head to Brighton. Who will they have? Verbruggen in goal, Wafer, Veltman, Dank, and Kadioglu. Back four, Ayari, Gomez, and Grada. Midfield three, then Mitoma, Ruta, and Minte. That will be the front three for the side of Brighton in this particular game. Minte is one to watch. Deadly, as I tell you, deadly player. Mitoma, you all know the name. And Ruta, that Brazilian, he's really deadly. And I tell you what, he's one of those that you guys have to come up and obviously watch hugely. But Kadioglu is really one of those overlapping fullbacks. He can play as a right back and left back in most cases, right? But Ayari is really proving to be one of those midfielders that is really good. And remember, they brought him to replace Moise Caicedo, and he's really doing a very good job, I must tell you. So that is it for the side of Brighton, and their manager Hazler is really doing the needful to obviously coming through and face off with the club of Arsenal. And what he has to know is that this Arsenal is totally different from the Arsenal he faced, you get, last season, because last season a red card favored them and then the injuries really affected Arsenal. But this time round, Arsenal is fully set for this. Now, let's go to the match facts. Arsenal have won just 3 of their 8 Premier League home games against Brighton, 38% winning rate, 2 draws and 3 losses, only having a lower win rate against Wimbledon, 25%, and Liverpool, 36% amongst sides they've faced 5 times. Secondly, Brighton are winless in their last 4 Premier League games against Arsenal, 2 draws, 2 losses, though they did come from behind to draw 1-1 in both meetings last season. All 3 of Arsenal's Premier League home wins against Brighton have been a 2-0 scoreline, October 2017, May 2021, December 2023, failing to win any of their 5 against them at the Emirates, in which they've conceded 2 draws and 3 losses. The other is Arsenal have won each of their last 5 Premier League home games. Only once under Mikel Arteta have they had a long run at the Emirates, winning 10 in a row between April and December 2022. Brighton have failed to score in their last 2 Premier League matches. Brighton have failed to score in their last 2 Premier League matches, one of only 2 sides who failed to score on match day 16 and match day 17, along with Everton. The Seagulls haven't gone 3 without a goal since January 2024. So, in their last 2 games, they haven't gone ahead, obviously, to do the needful. So, Arsenal sit on top of the Premier League for Christmas for the 5th time, along with 2002, 2003 season, 2007, 2008 season, 2022, 2023 season, and 2023-2024 season. They have never won the competition from that position. 2 of those have been under Mikel Arteta. No manager has been top at Christmas 3 times and never then won the competition, meaning that this start plays in the favor of Arsenal, that no manager has been on top of the Premier League 3 times, at Christmas, and he fails to obviously go ahead and really win, any of the Premier League trophies. And the indicators are like Arsenal taking this, because this is the 3rd time Arteta has been there, and the previous 2 he hasn't obviously gone ahead to lift up anything for the club of Arsenal. So all signals are like Arsenal taking it home. Brighton have never won a Premier League match in December under manager Fabian Hazler in 10 attempts. 6 draws, 4 losses. It's the most games ever managed by a manager in December without winning. Oh my God. So this is also in favor of Arsenal, right? In their last game, a 0-0 draw with Sunderland. Brighton named the youngest starting 11 in the Premier League match this season. 23 years and 240 days on average. Under the youngest manager in the competition, 32 years, 297 days on 20th December. While also fielding the oldest player to appear in the competition in the season of 2025-2026, and that is substitute James Milner, age 39 years of age and 350 days. That is James Milner for you. Among players to play 50 plus minutes in the Premier League this season, only Manchester United duo Jeremy Doku 3.4 and Ryan Cherki 3.2 have created more open play chances per 90 minutes than Arsenal's Martin Odegaard 2.5, with the Norwegian creating 4 last time against Everton. So the Norwegian has not been playing, and it shows you how creative this guy is. You know, Doku and Ryan Cherki have been there playing, but this guy has been away. But he's ranked among the top 3 players that have played 500 minutes in the Premier League this season, and they've gone ahead to put out such stats. His next appearance will be the 150th in the Premier League for Arsenal's goalkeeper, David Raya, since his debut in August 2021, right? He has kept more clean sheets than any other goalkeeper in the competition. Obviously, tomorrow, David Raya will be playing his 150th game for the Premier League, not Arsenal. I think Arsenal he has 100, right? So that is it for the side of Arsenal. And now you're waiting for my prediction. Obviously, Arsenal 3-0 for the club of Arsenal. I think Arsenal will have all what it takes to do the needful and obviously get this game out of the way and really win it. They've rested players. Obviously, Raya was rested. Zubimendi rested. Odegaard rested. Rice rested. Saka rested. Trossard rested. Gyokeres rested. Though some of them came on, but they are really rested, and that was really very, very important for them in this season. I don't know what your thoughts are about this, but I see a 3-0 win for the club of Arsenal, and the competition on the bench of Arsenal is really going to be huge, because when you look at that probable starting 11, that means you'll be having Lewis Kelly on the bench. You'll be having Nogard on the bench, Eze, Merino, Noni Madueke, Gabriel Jesus, and Gabriel Martinelli. 7 players with the likes of Rwaneri on the bench. And that bench can effectively come in through and win this game too. So it shows you how big this side is. But all in all, that's what we had for you here onto the Rokani Media Football. And your predictions are welcome in the comment section below. We out for now. See you later tomorrow morning. And good night.